from what I understand, you were suicidal at a young age, right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad you opened about that. You opened up about that because as a culture, we have a epidemic of what? It's a book, bro. It's this dude called Tom Burrell. The book is called Brainwash, right? And he speaks about slow suicide.
Yeah.
Right? You familiar with that term?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So he calls it slow suicide because 2/3 of all deaths amongst black people are caused by things that are preventable or can be cured, right? The question I have for you now is that, one, why did you find yourself suicidal at such a young age?
Because I was going through so much. You know what I mean? Like, not having my mother in my life, right? Having a drug addicted mother, being bounced around from group home to foster home to family home, but nobody wants me, nobody loves me. Being in a group home, listening to what the therapist is telling me in the group home, not fighting not to take the medication they trying to give me and all these programs and stuff like that. Not getting the actual love from my family, and my family acting like I'm something wrong with me when they never loved me or protected me or gave me any type of a standard to reach or anything. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, I want to go. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I had a knife to my neck and I tried to, get myself up. I tried to poke myself and God didn't let me do it. I was trying and it was scary. I cried because I felt something like bro, like very strong, just not let me, like, and I was like, what? And I dropped the knife and I just started crying. And I was right in, I was actually in your room. Yeah. And I was on remember the bunk beds we used to have? And I was on a bunk bed and I was laying on a bunk bed and I dropped, and I just, nobody knew that. Right. And I just laid on the bed and I was just crying so hard because I was like, I was mad. I was mad and I was scared and I was like, and I felt like God was making me go through this, but I didn't understand God's delayed gratification. I didn't understand God's purpose. You understand? So I was upset with God. I was mad. Like, just let me go. Take me out. This too much. I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we this ain't, I don't do this for cameras. This is what I actually went through. This is how I know God is real. That's why today I have so much confidence in God. That's why today I don't feel nothing about what people feel when I talk about what God told me to say or what God said is the standard. I don't support homosexuality. I don't support none of that. I'm not jacking the old LGBTQ. I'm not jacking none of that. God said that was abomination. So people don't know what God did for me and what God stopped me from doing to me. Right? This is real, and that was a thing for me. And then a lot of times we don't have that optimism about the future, so we take action that have permanent.
That's why I'll ask you the question, right?
Okay.
I think you're the perfect person to help a lot of brothers with this.
Mm-hmm. So we take actions that have permanent repercussions for a temporary feeling or temporary scenario. And if we have coping mechanisms, if we have healthy coping mechanisms, and we have people to talk to, or we have people that talk about what they went through and how they got through it, then maybe they can have some inspiration. So when they're in that moment, to not make an impulsive decision that will rob them of a beautiful life that they can live if they understand how to create a beautiful life or a life worth living. But go ahead.
I wanted to ask, man. So obviously you experienced a lot of internal pain.
Yeah, for sure.
Physical pain throughout your life, right?
Yeah.
And many of our brothers and sisters have experienced the same thing.
Absolutely.
How were you able to not allow those experiences to destroy you?
Well, God, right? Like God, literally God. I'm trying to check out.
God, I should reframe the question.
You mean?
What tools have you learned to not be stuck in the past?
Okay,
and move forward with your life.
Okay, well, when you get one negative thought, replace it with 100 positive thoughts. When you get one negative thought, replace it with 100 positive thoughts. Because how you think creates how you feel, right? So my mantra is this: how you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So when you have a negative thought, right, you have to replace it. You have to manually replace it with 100 positive thoughts. You get a negative thought, man, this is not going to happen. This is happening. 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 Well, what's happening? My dreams are coming true.